and so I want to see how my body would do. Shannon Carlin was telling me to get some Reese's with white chocolate, so I broke a couple of those out, and they're pretty crazy. So I just decided to wash it down with a Diet Coke, and man, I feel gross. I'm just joking, but it's good to see everybody. It's good to see all the stuff that's happening when I'm looking over Facebook right now and seeing this being broadcasted in many team pages and really all throughout the world. I know people are up late at night over in I guess it'd be early morning over in Australia. There's some amazing things happening over in Europe, and I want to obviously, before I get started, thank Kristen for putting this on. It's been cool to get back from our run today, Sarah and I. And this has been playing throughout our house throughout the morning, from everyone from Taryn and Brandon and yourself. Becky did a phenomenal job. Way to keep it simple. Marielle, it's been a very inspiring day for us, and it's very humbling to be able to be a part of this, because when you're amongst people who are striving with excellence, it can be nerve-wracking, and it really set the tone. When my two oldest daughters started recognizing some of the voices, they started recognizing Taryn's voice, knew that Taryn was actually in our house before. They obviously know Kristen, and the moment that Marielle says one word, our children run over to see what screen it is. So it's very, very inspiring for me to be able to be sharing the time with you guys today. I think my message might be a little bit different than normal, but with the timing of what's happening in the business world today, not just in business in general, with what's happened with the reactionary response of COVID-19, I think today's message may be a little bit different. So I'll kind of cut to the chase and get to the point. But I want to first again say thank you, Kristen. We've all benefited, myself first and foremost, because it's always this has been very difficult for me, as many of you who I'm very close with know. Usually I'm on the road over the weekends or a couple days a week visiting the different parts of the world in Q Sciences. And for more than anything, I get my kids are under quarantine. I've learned how to deal with them, and I've learned how to deal with myself, but I've not learned how to deal yet with not being able to see the Q Science family, the new up-and-coming people, the people who are doing some amazing things. And that's what really I look forward to most. So I can guarantee you the moment that this thing settles down, I will be on many of airplane to come and see all the people that have been responsible for this record-setting growth. As many of you guys know, in the month of March, it was absolutely phenomenal. It's very tough sometimes with the crisis that's happening right now, you guys, from a corporate perspective, as Mark and I have tried to maybe refrain from throwing out there how well the company's doing or how well a lot of these individuals are doing, because it's an unparalleled time. Frank, what's up, man? Maybe you should put a shirt on. It's really awesome. So the cool thing is, not because you don't look good without a shirt on, you look better than me. I'm just saying that there's children around. Anyway, and there's some old ladies around that they think you're hot. So, but anyway, the crazy thing about it is, we're having unprecedented growth. And that's hard sometimes to be able to explain to everybody, because it's such a very painful time for many families and organizations and even businesses throughout our world. And to kick this off, I'm going to actually do a screen share. You guys are going to be severely impressed with me, because you know that I don't do slides. But I thought I should probably do some type of a slideshow today, so I can stay on track, because I know there's times that I have to stick to. So I'm going to stick to those times, because I think I have a big list of honeydew lists to do for Sarah today. So let's get started. Some of you already saw today, my beautiful wife Sarah was on here talking about the FFM, the vision, the way that it's expanded. This is pretty crazy. You really want to talk about Sarah, because the moment that I actually met Marielle Filippo for the very first time, and Frank, Brandon Stevens, those guys came into the corporate office early 2018. This FFM thing was actually not even discussed. It was something that we were discussing behind the scenes as a potential thing that if we could pull off one of the biggest risks ever, because there are many risks to being able to allow us to access and pay people's personal debt. And it was a vision, and it got put up on the board, and it kept getting expanded and expanded. And we've really got through, I think 2 of the renditions of what FFM is, from the first adding extra money when people hit these ranks, so we can actually start contributing and chipping away people's principal balances with debt. We then enhanced it to where an individual can go out and get customers and not even have an organization and access that phenomenal program as well. And then we started adding bits and pieces from credit help to tax help to all these different things. But there's actually 2 more planned enhancements to that program that we were actually very excited to actually roll one of them out next month in San Diego. So we're actually kind of seeing how this is going to play out, what's going to happen. But Sarah's done a phenomenal job. This picture was at one of our most recent events in Salt Lake City. I've got 4 kids. Kai is the oldest. Yesterday, she just turned 12. Samantha was the farthest over to the left. She is 9 and she turns 10 in a month. My son Sawyer there that doesn't really have a lot of teeth in his mouth. He's 8, and Livia is actually 4. You can tell that Livia, if you look at her closely, you can tell that she kind of runs the house. She definitely ran the morning, got her breakfast first and got seconds first, and also was the first one to get out on the razors today. So we're super excited to have you guys here. I just want to share with you this because family for me and my company is by far the most important thing other than my faith. Business, you'll see in the end of this meeting, kind of comes down the priority list. But we believe with some of the things that you've seen here today, with FFM, some of the ways that you've heard these individuals, these leaders speak, Marielle and Brandon and Kristen, and the way that they're actually speaking to you, you can probably tell that our culture, our environment, and our company is significantly different because over the years, this industry, if not done correctly, done incorrectly, can actually wreak havoc on, I believe, the most important unit in our world today, and that is the family unit. So going on with this, why is this model growing so fast? One thing that I spoke about yesterday, and myself and Mr. Mark Wilson have been speaking about for so long, is the fact that a lot of people just won't face the fire and put their feet into it and realize that this is a business. My mentor told me if it looks like a business, if it smells like a business, if it pays you like a business, if there's tax advantages and there's codes in our tax system that allow you to keep more of your money because of a business entity, then it's a business. And I love it. I love the relationship aspect, as you can tell with the people speaking today, the people who have obviously asked you to watch us today. I will never look past how powerful the relationships are. I love how powerful the testimonials are and the enhancements that we're adding to people with health because what our product set is. In fact, I'll tell you, many of you guys were excited that we started shipping our new Silver Shield. I will tell you, I'm really excited that we actually just produced the first run of Cinnamon Fuse, our full spectrum hemp with over 60 ppm of silver. It's in our house today. It came out of the stability test. It passed the test. So be looking for some enhancements with our new Fuse line where we're going to be not only preserving our full spectrum hemp with this stuff, but actually also recouping and getting the benefits of what Silver Shield is. Now, those are all powerful things. But the reality is, our first message is to you today is maybe we should take a step back and maybe we should just look at this for what it really is. And maybe if you think about the trends that are happening in our world, not our state or our country, the world, some of this stuff is, I think, maybe a no-brainer. This year, there will be over 2.05 billion global digital buyers. If you think about that, what is a digital buyer? That's people shopping online. That means 25% of our population now is going to be shopping online. Now, I say this because I'll make fun of myself. Marielle was throwing some daggers. I'll make fun of myself all day. I got lucky. I got really lucky. I'm not a big businessman. I didn't have to go raise a ton of capital. I didn't have to go buy all these restaurant chains and start vesting out and putting capital everywhere. I got really lucky to position an e-commerce model to millions of people around the world that may not even have the capital to own a traditional business. The intellect like me, I don't have it to hire and fire and expand. But the reality is we have to understand that this is the way the model's going. And when you look at the next couple of slides, it'll all come to full picture by the end. E-commerce is expected to account for 16% of all retail sales. And it's rising 4 to 9% a year. Now think about this. What's going to happen when higher ticket items now are moving towards an e-commerce model? houses and cars. The moment that those things start happening where there are a complete transaction without any human interaction, you're going to see a complete shift. And that shift is going to be huge. Now, you've seen the shifts happen all over the world with people having to lay off people and brick and mortars going away. You saw what happened to Blockbuster and all these companies. The fact that you could Google it with all the stores and retail chains, even Walmart in North America just announced before COVID that they're now shutting down 163 of their stores, which accounts to less than 10%. Why is that happening? This is why we want to talk about it, because I don't want to take all this credit that we're huge business minds, we're geniuses, and we're all just really the next Bill Gates or Donald Trump or Oprah Winfrey. There's a major timing play that I think has actually catapulted and, like a cyclone effect, pulled a lot of people into the Q Science model. Nearly half of all American businesses still don't have a website or an active shopping cart. Is that not crazy? We have a really good one. The number one reason people shop online, check this out, is actually being able to shop at all hours of the day. Then comes convenience and not having to leave one's home. 81% of consumers, this is a big one, guys, trust the advice of family and friends over business. Now, this is huge in the e-commerce model, because as you're going to now be seeing the next statistic that I believe has perfectly positioned many of the leaders that you're actually hearing from today, the Gen Xers are on pace to spend 5 times the amount on supplementation and natural health remedies than the previous 3 generations combined. Why? Because our generation, we believe in maintenance and preventative maintenance. We've seen what's happened with the disease states and inflammation and things of that nature. And because of the first statistic of 81%, we are all now using and trying things that our family and friends love. I've seen it, I don't know how many times, and I'm not going to make a political statement and tell you what I do or I don't believe in about this, but how many of you have been paying attention to how many people have been talking about the COVID vaccine? Now, I'm not saying I'm for or against. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm smarter than that. What I am going to say is go take a look at the comments, just for reading purposes. Just open up and see where most of the comments now lie. And it's interesting because this is one of the reasons why we've been positioned to do what we're going to do. You see, when my family member, a friend says, hey, this is what I take, this is why I'm taking it, this is how I feel, and this is why I trust it. It perfectly positions each and every one of you for a global economy and an e-commerce model that obviously you can tell today has worked quite well for many of the people speaking. And these statistics, now let's talk about why I brought this up. These stats were before COVID-19. Now, I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to read you something that my mentor sent me this morning. It was actually late last night, but it was very pointed to me, and I'm big into mentorship. I'm big into relationships. And I've been able to stand on the shoulders of many giants to experience and maybe even participate in some of the wins in our business life, my wife and I want you to listen to this. So first, let's read this. These statistics were before COVID-19. Sitting here in the evening sun, listening to Handel's Messiah, thinking about COVID-19, and my thinking shifted from why to now what for. Since the beginning of time, certain events have shaped society and the direction of Earth's inhabitants. The flood, the plague, the Exodus, world wars, the Holocaust, 9/11, and now COVID. Following each event, some groups, countries, religions, societies, and companies emerge like a phoenix through the ashes, stronger and more solid than ever before. I'm here to tell you, I don't believe that our company is going to get to 1,000% growth in the next couple of months since last year. I believe it's going to go to 2,000 and 3,000% growth. The reason why is because there's now going to be a reality, and that reality is going to become your new norm. Think of what happened in the industries after 9/11, of what's happened, and those businesses have now become staples. Think about what's happened with Google. And think about what's happened with Facebook. Why? Because now people want to distance themselves and sit at home and do what they're doing and try to keep their life as normal as possible. If anything that you're going to get from this today, this slide should shake some of you to your bones and realize that it's not going to be shocking next month when Mr. Mark Wilson gets on the May CEO call and says, yep, once again, we just grew by 30%. And when he gets on there in June and July and August, when he gets on there and says, yep, we just grew at 40 or 50%. And our end of the year convention in September in Dallas, Texas, don't be shocked when he gets on there and says, after COVID started and what's happened because of the ease of the shopping cart and the ease of trust through family and friends and be able to shop online. Let's just look at some of this. Being able to shop when you want, the convenience of doing it, being able to get products from people that you know, like, love, and trust, and also being able to provide an income opportunity for people based off of performance and personal growth, not based off of politics, how long you've been involved, when you started, who you started with. It's based off of personal effort. It's not going to be a secret. It's not going to be a surprise when our bottom line, your bottom line as a partner in Q, looks absolutely stellar after the year of 2020. So how do I take advantage of this? Pretty simple. You got to keep it super simple. A genius keeps things simple. A fool makes and keeps things complicated. Look, first off, you got to try all the products. The days of being or using testimonials are completely gone. They don't count anymore. Your personal experiences do. You're going to have to invest in your business. Do not let the $25 enrollment fee, a couple $100 of products fool you from thinking that these are what these leaders are doing who spoke to you today. They're not. I guarantee if you went in their home today, they have every product that Q has, and they've had their own personal experience of what they've done, how they've taken it, and what the benefit has actually been. See, one thing I want to talk to you about today as a Senior Vice President of Global Sales, as humbly as I can, I get the financial situation for many are stressed. But you can't nickel and dime the opportunity of Q Sciences or you're going to make nickels and dimes. Do I need to remind you of what this top statistic says? 81% of consumers trust the advice of family and friends. So are you looking at the products in Q Sciences as something that's giving you a benefit, or are you now a partner in Q Sciences and you're now seeing it as a vehicle or a resource or / tool that helps grow your company? You're going to have to know the basics on Care and Share and our customer rewards program. Now, this is absolutely huge. In fact, in my recent presentations, I've been spending a little bit more time on these two programs. Why? Because you need to know, if you're brand new today, we're doing everything we can to not only keep the customers that you have, but have them try and experience more products in Q Sciences to increase the amount of products they're using through us instead of going and get products here and there from other companies. I will tell you, I've been talking in depth to not just Marielle Filipponi and Brandon Stevens, but other leaders about things that we need to be moving towards and looking to be nimble, light on our feet. With this new norm of COVID-19, I don't believe some of the things are going to go back to normal. What can Q Sciences provide in the next 60, 90, 120 days that is a no-brainer that people are spending money on each and every day that we can insert into your e-commerce model and through our customer rewards programs? Once people are committing to getting this each and every month, they then get an email from the company. Thank you for ordering products with us for 4 or 5 months. Did you know that 15 or 20% of what you spend is now in your piggy bank and you can go spend that and try other Q Science products? Do you know why we've done what we've done from a corporate perspective? Do you understand how quickly this can grow online? You guys, this is nothing more than playing tag. Having your own e-commerce store and tagging a couple people who want one as well, who go tag a couple people who want one as well. And before you know it, you have a dozen. And after that, you've got 30 and 40 and 50. Can you see how simple Marielle's kept the business to where now she has thousands of e-commerce stores all over the internet, taking advantage of these statistics that's now put her family in a position that's changed them so she can change others. You have to help new people get launched and trained within 24 hours. You got to take advantage of our promos, our win-win. You got to know that by helping new people win, you're going to increase the weekly bonuses that they're obviously going to get, but you yourself are going to win as well. And those bonuses right now in the month of April are unlimited. You got to know and how to really talk about all the advantages of why paying $24 on a reduced enrollment fee is absolutely bonkers when we haven't had to even convince people to join our company the last 2 years. It's now been tens of thousands of people that were accustomed to paying $80 to join, and we just made a strategic decision with our equity council and our VP of sales to lower that enrollment fee to help people out in this critical time. But you're still now positioned with this e-commerce online shopping cart and dozens of others because of your decision to take advantage of these statistics that you just saw. You got to practice and implement the language in your team of driving people to people, not product or company or comp plan. It's mentorship, guys. Marielle said it best: people don't join they don't join businesses, they join people. See, I could say in business, it's not what you know, it's who you know. See, you gotta work with these leaders and figure out that they're not going out there and tagging tons of people with the benefits of full spectrum hemp. They're not going out and talking about the ingredient labels, even though they're solid, to educate and then convince people that Q Sciences works. Q Sciences is actually not under investigation. It's actually now been proven as doing extremely well. Many of you are sending the report to me that Business from Home just published in the top 50 growing companies in the entire world. Last year alone, our sales increased $19 million in 1 year. This year, it's looking to increase almost $40 to $45 million in 1 year. The research is in, the research is done. The question is, can you, or maybe / will you learn a new skill? Will you learn how to talk about strategic partnerships with people? Will you learn how to posture those people so they can do the talking, the legwork for you as you're earning money and learning at the exact same time? I told a recent group of people in Australia, as we do these trainings like this once a week, I said there was 3 main conversations that changed my business career that my mentor had with me. Now, there was obviously hundreds and thousands of talks that we have, but usually there's a couple main talks that we have, whether it's in our relationship, our business life, or our career, and some pieces of advice are laced into those talks that we can go back and think, wow, this actually shaped me for a better person, or shaved light years off of my journey. Now, the first one was, very simply put, was when my mentor talked about that I had to stop giving reasons why someone should look at the business and start giving reasons why someone should meet the leader I'm working with. And that simple thing changed, and he flipped over a piece of paper and he said, 99% of what you should be saying is about the leaders who you're working with, who are helping you succeed, and only 1% should be about the company. Now, I was very young. I was 21 years old, so I needed this type of coaching, and he said, add that percentage up. I said, okay, it equals 100%. He says, is there any percentage in there to talk about yourself? I said, no. He said, but there is a lot of percentage for you to learn how to talk about people, to draw curiosity and interest. Now, this was well before social media today. And look at how powerful that prediction was in 2004. Now we are addicted by just taking a look at people's lives on social media, a small sliver of what someone did throughout their day, what their workout was, where they went on a date, what they're driving, what happened, the chaos in their home, all the memes about COVID and what child's burning down what, and what kid did this and who cut their own hair. It's all part of someone's personal life. If that's not your biggest clue of how to correctly bring people into this opportunity, I don't know what is, and Marielle did a phenomenal job. The next one, obviously, that conversation came up to me about getting new people started. And I know that Kristen Adams, as soon as I go through my next slide, is going to cover the power of getting people started the correct way and following a system. My question is, can you follow that system? Or maybe the question should be, will you follow that type of system? That conversation with me was conversation number 2. And conversation number 3 was obviously the power of what happens when people get together. People get in the same room and the same Zoom, whatever it's going to be, and they all start striving and working together in unison with unity to create a common goal. Now, let's talk about you. The faster you can grow you, the faster you can grow your dream. Now, did you notice I didn't say the faster we can grow you? No, it comes down to you. It comes down to you making a decision in what's happening right now to come out of this situation a phoenix, just like my mentor said, a completely different person, a different organization, a different team. What's going to be positive about you coming out of COVID-19 that was not even on your radar before this happened? See, there can be no longer anyone who says you didn't have time. We've got plenty of time. We can open up a book, we can download something, we can go on a walk, we can go on a run. If you're not in shape, you can crawl before you walk. Before you run, you can actually walk. It's pretty simple. There's so many positives as we look in the unfortunate circumstances that are happening throughout our world today. There's so many opportunities laced into all the things that people are afraid of. So one thing that I've done over my career that I want to personally share with you is something that my wife and I try to do, a checkup from the neck up a couple times a month. This conversation came up with us in the last couple of days. Now, I'm not a multitasker, but I try to maybe look at all the different verticals or metrics in my life of what I'm doing to maybe grow each of them. And it really kind of put myself back into perspective after a couple rough weeks. So for me, this is just my list. Doesn't have to be your list. But I do know a lot of leaders, we work off of the same list. And maybe this might even shed some light, as Mr. Mark Wilson has also said this from stage. This is his list. And the priorities that he goes off of, I go off of as well. So maybe when you hear about taking some time off and celebrating your wins and maybe understanding your spouse better and working more closely with your children, not about just checking in, but actually being present, you might understand the secret sauce, if that's what you want to call it, for what's made Q Sciences Q Sciences. The first one is faith. Not going to go into it because it's a taboo topic, just like politics. But I will say this: you got to believe in something. Things don't just magically happen out of the air. I don't care what denomination you believe, but I hope you are doing something, because you've got to be accountable to something, or it's proven human beings just tend to make mistakes. Family. I will tell you, after my faith, my family is next in line. If it jeopardizes my family unit, it puts them in jeopardy, health or financial or anything, I just don't do it. What am I doing? What are you doing at this current time to improve the family unit? You, your partner, your spouse, your children, your grandkids. I find it absolutely amazing that before COVID-19, Zooms and Facebook and FaceTiming was a once in a while thing in our family. I can't even count now how many Zooms from Marielle and Brandon and all these people, our VP of sales, have been happening with our children, but also the amount of Zooms that are happening in our intermediate family. And how many times now my mom, who, by the way, I didn't think that she could figure it out, is FaceTiming my kids. I got to tell you, that wasn't happening before COVID, but it is happening now. There's some positives if you allow them to happen that could shape you into being a more positive, influential, authentic person that will actually bring people to you instead of you hunting them down all the time. What about your fitness level? This is huge. I hope you like my tan. My tan's been great because I open up the refrigerator door and I put a tanning bulb in there. It's awesome. I'm actually getting really tan because of how much I'm eating. I'm working out more than ever, but I'm trying to keep up with the calories in and the calories out. But on a serious note, why don't we take it more serious than we actually are? Why not get up and move? The best way to actually improve your immune system is not by what you take, it's actually what you do physically. Go get your lungs going. Go on a walk. Go actually spend some time with your spouse. Leave your phone home today and go on a walk and actually see if you still know how to communicate. It might be the craziest lesson you have this entire crisis. Get out there, make it happen, get some blood flowing. Ideas, thoughts, goals, things that you're thinking of are a lot more intuitive and come to your mind when you're actually making movement happen. What about finance? I gotta tell you something, guys, and people got me emotional on here. I gotta tell you flat out, I could get emotional the moment that I think about my wife, because I will tell you, I know my inadequacies and my shortcomings. And for me, I'm good at making money. I've always had a gut for kind of knowing where to put my nose in things to get the green stuff, right? But I'll tell you, there's been always times where I like the nice stuff. And I got to tell you, it's really nice being a part of Q Sciences, but I got to tell you something. She afforded me a position to run for my dream. She afforded not only myself, but also Mark Wilson a position to run for our dreams because of her due diligence, her discipline, the way she plans, the research she's always doing. She has kept our family unit safe financially since the beginning of our marriage. Now, that may be, oh, what does that really matter? I'll tell you it matters, because in times like this, if everything goes to pot, we're completely fine. And there's something about having that inner confidence of being married to someone that put that high on their priority list and keeps me in check. And it's inspiring to watch her work and watch her do things and not have any debt and pay our taxes and don't do extensions. I'm not saying those are bad things, but I'm telling you, it is so inspiring. And it allows her to operate from a space of humility and empathy and operate from a space of authenticity to know that what she teaches and what she preaches, she does. And it's just nice waking up knowing that this could be all shut off and bills could be paid now for years without any additional income coming into our home. What's different about your financial goals with COVID now that you didn't realize before? What are you doing differently? Are you looking at your bottom line? Some of you guys, it might be the first time you've looked in your bank account and looked at all the statements and think, oh my gosh, I have that membership. I don't even use that. I've been spending how much money? Some of you have now maybe seen for the first time how much you spend on fast food. Can you imagine now by eating healthier at home, making meals, but also the financial gain that you're going to get in 2020 because of this crisis? There's so many positives that are right in front of you that you could enhance this list on if you just open your eyes. What about friends? Man, it's not who you recruit, it's who you keep. Who are you reaching out to that you just don't care if they join Q or not? It's been awesome. My friends and I have been adding each other into this old alumni thing with high school, and it's been awesome just connecting with people and talking to them. And you know what? I actually started picking up the phone. I stopped texting. I stopped doing Messenger, and I had a goal. My goal is, whether it's my immediate family or it's someone I've not connected with, I'm going to make 2 phone calls a day to hear their voice, to hear them out, to be a sounding board, to also be strength in that person's life. May sound crazy. It may sound weird, but I'm also not going to say that I didn't have a goal ever of thinking on the business end, right? But I will tell you, because of the intention was pure, now 3 weeks into this, and now a lot of the funding in America is now slow. A lot of my friends who own businesses, I will tell you, the last couple of days have asked, what's Q about? We've never wanted to really ask. We've seen you on your trips and what's going on. Hey, it's kind of getting crazy. I don't know how much longer I can keep paying my employees that are sitting at home without this SBA loans. So this next week, Jake, is my pivotal moment. I'm either letting it go, or I'm going to hold on for dear life and go find another business I can start from where? Start from home. What's different about the way that you're reaching out to people that you've not reached out to in years? If you're like us, you probably have noticed that you're starting to do it because A, you're bored, or relationships and friendships now have now been put differently in your mind. Another great thing of what this thing or virus has taught us, that we don't know how much time we have. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that we can control the relationships that we have and build value in other people's lives. Please remember, it's not who you recruit, it's who you keep. If you're just in this for a numbers game and volume, yeah, you might get to a big position. You might be all happy and you might be our VP of sales for a year or two, but trust me, you'll be an emperor with no clothes. And what I love about the Q Science family, it's like a centrifugal clutch. It's so good that the people that don't practice these things and don't really act in behind closed doors, who they act like out in the open, it spins them out. Yep, Q has spun out people in the last two years who have looked at things like this and said to it, one day, someday. They lived on someday island. When I make this, I'll call Sarah. When I do this, I'll mend that relationship. When I'm this successful, then everyone's going to come running to me and want to do Q. I'm telling you, that's not the way that it works. We don't get what we deserve, guys. We get who we are or what we are. If you're attracting a lot of people into your life, you don't understand why, because they may not be the most positive. Go look in the mirror. If you're attracting a lot of people right now who are desperate, who don't have a relationship with their faith, who are really afraid, go look in the mirror. We are all moving, vibrating people, and we tend to vibrate to people who are just like us. My message to you is this: this company is going to double. It's going to triple. It's going to happen because as scary as the situation that we're in, we are all in this together. The situation has proven once again why we were all inspired, many of you, to join this company. Not just us to create it, but you to join it as well. We're completely ready. We have a plan. We're going to execute the plan. I'm not going to say it's easy. It never is. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be times where you don't like me and you want to punch me in the face. There'll be times that you actually do. But remember, when you get your $50, $100, $150,000 monthly check, just send me 10 to 15%, please. Simple little fee, right? I'm just playing. The reality is nothing ever worth it is ever easy. But this page right here is what has separated the leaders in Q, who have not just made Q what it is, but continually make it better every single day. I'm so inspired to be a part of what you guys are all doing. It's humbling because I play such a small part trying to keep everything going. It's the leaders that you saw today that truly make this a magical thing. This really, people say this sounds too good to be true. Nope, it's as good as it actually sounds. It's not a get rich quick. I think it's a get rich slow, which is better than a get rich never. So I actually am appreciative again, Kristen. Thank you so much. Marielle and Brandon and Taryn and Becky and all you guys who just literally serve the people today. That's what makes QQ. Pay close attention. We've got some exciting things that we're going to be bringing you guys to help close out the month of April, to get the month of May and June just on rocket fuel. So remember, everyone get ready, because no matter what happens, if we have those events in May and June or not, we're still going to make the enhancements and release the updates that were coming at those events. So with that said, Kristen, I'll turn it back to you.